Okay, so hopefully you can all hear me clearly. Welcome to Masterclass 3 for the 23rd Aotearoa New Zealand Scout Jamboree 2023-24. My name is Trudy and I am the JST Director for the next Jamboree. I'd like to introduce Marie, who is valiantly in the backgrounds working some of the IT and the chat for me, and John, who is working in the background to do the presentation as well. So a big thanks to John for all of his hard work. This has been a mammoth task to undertake, so really do appreciate all of his hard work on this. So welcome. As I said, my name is Trudy and I'm supported today by my JST assistant Liam and my welfare assistant manager Elizabeth. Once again, if you've just joined us, we are recording this presentation for later, and there will also be a copy of slides on the Facebook forum within 2 to 3 days for you to share with your leaders, venturers and parents if you need to. Now, if you have any questions at this stage, please, if you could put them in the chat, and we will try and answer everything at the end rather than interrupt the presentation as we go through. And Marie will keep track of them all and read them at the end. And if you do have a burning question, pop your hand up and Marie will help you out. Okay, so Jamboree Support Directorate. Each venturer is able to go. If you are between 15 years and 16 years, 4 months, you can take part in the Venture Active. And this is the program the Scouts will be taking part in. You will be, however, living with JST. JST is 16 to 18 years of age, and they're the venture age staff or support team. We'll also have the International Support Team, or IST, that are equivalent to rovers from 18 to 25 years to assist with their job allocation and providing them a space to relax at the end of the day as well. If each venturer registers, if they encounter any problems, please do get them to send an email to inquiries@jamboree.scouts.nz, and these will be resolved on a case-by-case basis by the directorate team. Okay, so why choose Jamboree Support Team or Venturer Active as a venturer? So let's explain Venturer Active to start with, because this is a new thing and a lot of people are still asking questions about it. So Elizabeth, if you'd like to explain a little bit more and let us know when you want the slide to go forward, we can do that in the background for you.
Okay, so we all know that this Jamboree is a year later than we would normally have had a Jamboree due to our friend COVID. And National has made an undertaking that no Scout will miss out on a Jamboree. But obviously, we've got a group of young people who will have actually graduated to venturers and will have missed out on their Jamboree because they were too young previously. So the Venture Active is to allow venturers who missed out on that Jamboree, those young ones, to actually experience the Jamboree. But because they're now venturers and a little bit older, we're housing them with the venturer team so that they are actually with their own peer age group. But they will get the full Jamboree experience, including cooking their own meals. So next slide, please. So as Trudy's already said, these are for 15 years to 16 years and 4 months of age. They're going to be looked after by, they'll be split into units, and they will be looked after by experienced venturer leaders. So we're bringing experienced venturers leaders onto the team to look after these venturers in the way that you would have Scout leaders with a Scout patrol. So we will have those available and to give them the support and mentoring that they require. Next slide. they'll get to choose all of the activities that the Scouts will be doing, so that they get the full experience. And on their non-activity days, when the Scouts will have patrol duties, well, our venturers will have duties as well. And this will include helping with the catering for the venture actives, but also some service project work as well for the broader community. So it's going to be quite an exciting and interactive time for them. They will also be able to mix with the other venturers at the Jamboree who are doing the service to the teams. Was that the last of my slides? Yeah, and they'll all, as I said, they will all be in our compound with all of the venturers together. And we have a dedicated welfare team for our venturers and dedicated everything so that the venturers are all sort of together. But they will be paying the full fee that the Scouts are paying, the $1,190, because obviously they're going to get the same experience that a Scout would and get the opportunity to do the activities. Cool.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. That is appreciated. Okay, so next is a little bit about the Jamboree service team. Now, we've actually changed the name this year to Jamboree Service Team to represent how the venturers support the wider scouting community. And I'd just like to introduce Liam, who's the Assistant Manager for JST Youth, to talk a little bit about this, if possible, please. Again, please indicate.
Lovely. Thank you for that intro, Trudy, and kia ora, everyone. Cool. So JST is our main section, if you will. So JST will be arriving on the 28th of December to allow for training on site with the rest of the JST. Next slide, thank you. Yes, so we'll have a couple of options for the JST to choose from. Next slide, thank you. So these pre-chosen options will be captured after registration. We'll be sending an email out to each person to outline the different paths available within JST and to capture your skills and interests. In terms of these paths, we've got 3: pre-allocated, project, and the variety teams. So the variety stream does a variety of work which is different each day. This is probably most similar to your perception of the VST from last Jamboree. We have the specific stream, which will be doing some pre-allocated work, for example, in the hub, the Jamboree shop, other predefined roles that they know about before Jamboree. And we'll also have the project stream, which is for those with special skills who will co-develop and run a base with the adult of that base. Some examples here would be the climbing base and the water base, sailing in particular. Next slide, thank you. Yep, so we'll be attempting to match everyone's preferred skills and hobbies with the work requirements that are coming into us, aiming to give everyone in JST a really good time and a range of experiences. Next slide, thank you. Just want to highlight that the JST fee is $495, the same as the staff fee, in recognition of the supporting role that JST play at the Jamboree. Any other comments there, Trudy or Elizabeth?
I think it's really important to note that the venturers are really essential to running the Jamboree, because a lot of the staff working on the bases will be venturers, and without a good team of venturers, we can't run a Jamboree. They're a very valuable resource.
Yeah, absolutely. And just finally, we also will be providing a chill space for the IST and rovers. So that's a relaxation space. They'll be based out of staff camp and paying that same staff rate, but we'll be helping to allocate them into jobs. So they'll get that same email as the JST for us to help them with that allocation process. Oh, next slide, thank you. Over to you, Trudy.
Okay, thank you, Liam and Elizabeth. That has been brilliant. It comes up to questions. Has anyone got any questions? I wasn't watching. Okay, first question I can see there is IST is the international staff team. So these are young people that come from overseas, and they work exactly in the same way as our staff and others, and they will be managed by the international manager in that sense, but we're just helping to allocate them work so that they find a fit that is best for everyone involved.
Haley's got a hand up.
Haley, would you like to take yourself off mute?
Yeah, kia ora everyone, thank you for your time. If you've got a scout who is turning 15 very soon and is a patrol leader and wants to stay in the patrol to experience Jamboree as a PL, and because she's got siblings in the unit, can she go as that PL? She'll be 15 and 3 months, and the other one will be 15 and 5 months.
So is she in the scouting section?
At the moment.
Okay, if she stays in the scouting section, that's up to her. It's part of the Scouts transition policy. If they want to stop in Scouts and transition when they want to, it's up to them. If they feel comfortable being on Scout lines, that's fine. But on the, you've got to, is it going to be a benefit to her, or does she want to be with venturers because of her maturity? It might be better for her to be on a venturer side rather than Scout side. But it's totally up to her, the leaders, and the parents to decide which she wants to be in.
Yeah, okay.
I think rather than deal with individual case-by-case basis on the masterclass, which is being recorded for everyone, what I'd love to do is, if people have got a question about an individual, if you could possibly send an email with the outline to inquiries, we can communicate with you on a case-by-case basis to make sure that you've got the best information for you in that situation. Okay,
Elizabeth, you want to say something?
I just wanted to say that in answer to that, thinking about that one, we will have unit leaders with the units in the VA, so they may get the experience of the patrol leader type experience as well in VA. It's not, so it's still there as an opportunity. They will get the opportunity to have that leadership experience.
Okay, True, you've got some more questions in chat.
Okay, could you read them out to me? Sorry, just with everything.
It's all right.
Screen.
Trina wants to know, if a venturer has attended Jamboree as a scout, but is only 15 and turning 16 within a month, can they go as support team, or do they have to go as a scout experience?
Again, I'd reiterate that we are going to be working on a case-by-case basis for everyone that's got questions over this. Please feel free to, if you have a youth that has a specific inquiry, please do send it through to inquiries@jamboree.scouts.nz. We are making sure that youth are front and centre here, and we really do want to make sure that if a young person wants to be in a particular role, that we are fully listening to them and their parents and their venture and scout leaders. So please do send that inquiry through so that we can work as a case-by-case basis rather than answering that on a masterclass.
You have a question? Sorry.
Go on. I was going to say we are not going to not listen to the youth's requirements. That will be the first thing that we listen to.
Okay, and N. Johnston, you might actually want to answer this one, I don't know. Scouts can move to venturers at 14 and a half because of the transition. So a new venturer cannot go as a venturer active?
No, but we're putting 15 because we've got to put some date, but if a new venturer wants to go as a venturer active, then they certainly should send an email, and we will certainly have a conversation with the venture leader and the youth and their parents to make sure that they're in the best place. But absolutely, we would look at that for them, no problem.
Okay, next question is from Paul Morrison. What are the accommodation arrangements for the venturers?
They will be housed in the JST area, and they will be in their own tents, and they will be slightly apart from the scout part of the Jamboree, but they will be looked after with a dedicated team looking after just the venturers on the Jamboree.
Will it be a bit venture?
Sorry?
Will it be a bit like the accommodation at venture?
Not so much, no. it would be a lot further apart.
Okay, next question is from Mosgill. Do you have an appropriate document that explains directly the pros and cons of holding scouts back in scouting once they have passed the 14.5 age threshold?
I would have to refer to the scout policy on transition, and I again would have to put it back to the youth, their parents, and the scout leader and the venture leader. It's such a personal, individual situation that I wouldn't want to get into that on the masterclass. But there is the document that gives that on the transition period, transition policy.
Okay, so Mosgill's actually got their hand up. So Mosgill, do you want to just answer another question? I'm assuming it's to do with the same question.
Yeah, it is pretty much. I read it after I typed it. I read it and I thought, oh god, that makes no sense. What I'm trying to ask is that there are some. I've got a couple of scouts who will be aging out in the next few months and wanting to go to venturers.
No problem.
Yeah, that's fine. So, and then, but they're the ones that missed out on Jamboree last time because they were too young. So my question is, and I'm sure it was answered before, but I just wanted to get clarification. Those kids, if they go through become invested venturers, they can still
do venture active.
They can still do venture active. It's their
Yes.
it's just straight up their choice which one they want to do.
Yeah, straight up their choice.
Perfect.
This is exactly why we did set this up.
Yeah. No, that's good. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then we've got a question. Sorry, go on, Trudy.
Youth choice is the first choice.
Yeah. Question from Ellesmere. Will VA units be geographically based to facilitate pre-Jamboree
No.
coordination and bonding?
No, because it will depend on what team they are working in. So if some of them are working in, for example, a sailing base, they will be sleeping in and working in that environment. Having said that, the entire of the JST site is not huge. They will still see each other, and they will still see each other outside of work hours.
Sorry, that's VA units, Trudy, not JST.
Okay, sorry. Again, we're not intending to put them in the same units, but if they have a particular person they want to be with, then they should certainly send an email through, and we will be seeing what we can facilitate. We just might not be able to huge units of a large number of people. We'd need to get the final figures in from all the geographic areas before we can really fully answer that. But there's no reason why they wouldn't be able to sort of in their chill out time, spend time together. It's just I can't give you an absolute answer because we don't have those figures in for us yet.
Okay, any more questions, anybody? Oh, well, another one from them. To be crystal clear, 14-year-olds with the bronze venture can attend Jamboree as VA?
Yes. They just need to make sure that when they do their registration, they send an email to inquiries@jamboree.scouts.nz with a note in there saying what they want to do. They are registering for this, they are a venturer, and their registration number, and we can manipulate that in the background to make sure it's fine.
So thank you.
Any questions about registration, if something happens and it's not where they expect you to go, send through an email and we will take care of it for you. That's
Okay.
no problem.
Tatahi Bay, you've raised your hand. Do you want to unmute yourself? And
yep. So I can't work out. Sorry, I can't work out how to do the chat thing on my phone. So it's easy to do it in person.
We can hear you.
Cool. So we've got a couple of venturers looking to do the venture active. Will they be placed in the equivalent of a contingent or just a patrol that they'll do the activities with? Like, will they always do it with the same 6 kids, or how does that sort of thing going to work?
Elizabeth?
So they'll be in a unit with the same 6 kids. Although so for their activities during the day, like a scout patrol, they will be in that same unit. Now, if issues arise and they're not comfortable with the group they're with, they can always come and talk to my team, the welfare team, and we will look at how we can make things work for them. So it's not a do or die, but yes, the general idea is that they will be in the same unit for the entirety of Jamboree, but after hours they will be able to socialise with any of the other members, whether they be VA or JST.
Are they also going to be allowed to touch base with the scouts or not, if they have siblings and things like that over in the main Jamboree?
Sorry, I couldn't hear that question.
Are they also allowed to get in touch with the scouts as well during the evenings and things like that? If they've got siblings and things like that that are with troop lines and a normal part of the
Do you want me
Jamboree?
to answer that, Elizabeth? Or do you?
Yes, please.
Okay, so any venturer can go on to troop lines, but they have to have permission from the leaders that are running the troop lines. They can't just wander on to the troop lines. They've got to ask permission to enter their sites.
Standard. Yep. Okay.
We
that's cool. Thank you.
also need to know in JST that they're going, and so that we can actually be obviously we're looking after them, and we need to know where our teams are. But there may also be occasions in the evenings for some of the evening activities where we may need some extra hands out of the VA to help with marshalling for evening events and things. So it would be really good if we knew what was happening. We would encourage mostly the venturers to stay on the venturer site.
Cool. Thank you.
But if it's like any visitor, if they wanted to go off and see someone, we're not stopping them at all. It's just that we'd respectfully ask that we know where they've gone and when they've come back, just so that we can keep an eye on them, the same as you would with scouts that were just wandering off in the evening. You just ask that they let you know when they come back.
Okay, we've got Gillian Moore. Did that answer your question? Sorry.
Yep. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, we've got Gillian Morgan. If you want to unmute yourself.
This question may have been sorry. I'm just thinking of scouts that are transitioning into venturers, and they may not have time to get that bronze award between leading scouts and going to venturers. Where do they fit in this?
If they want to go as a venture active, then we're not going to penalise them if they haven't had a chance to get their bronze award. We know that some units are more active than others, so if they contact us and explain the situation, then we would certainly take that into 100% into consideration. If they have transitioned and have become venturers and are attending venturers, not scouts, then we would certainly look at that with the venture leader and the parents as well. So it would certainly be something we'd look at for them.
Great, thank you.
I've just reading on here that Ellesmere's venture active units will be in multiples of 6. Yes, that is correct. We are anticipating units of 6 venturers to be in a venture active unit. I hope that answers that question. For the venture active youth, will their patrols be mixed with randoms in their patrols? If we have youth from the same scout group that want to be in the same patrol, we will certainly try and facilitate it, but there will be some patrols that have units that have only got 1 or 2 venturers coming, so there will be some patrol units that have a mixed number of people in them. Until we get the final numbers, it's going to be a little bit hard, but equally if a youth comes from a unit and has multiple other people from their unit with them but wants to be in a venture active unit separately, we would try and facilitate that. It's all about what is going to fit best for those youth, and we are not going to force people to do something that they are highly uncomfortable. So if they are more comfortable coming and they want to be with the same unit from their home, and it's feasible, then we will absolutely do our best to make this happen and make them comfortable. If they want to experience Jamboree with other people, then we will do our best to facilitate that as well. We're not trying to bludgeon them into a one-size-fits-all policy here. We don't. It doesn't work for people. It's not how people operate, so that's not how we want to approach it.
And we've got another question from Carol Diamond. Will the VA units have curfews, or are they allowed to stay up all night as long as Dad's rules?
I need sleep. They're going to bed. I need to sleep. My team needs to sleep. There will be people doing night security to help to make sure there's no emergencies, but there will be a curfew, yes. Have I set the curfew yet? No, I haven't. But no, there will be a curfew because I need to go to bed and so does my team.
And if they don't get sleep, they're going to get tired very quickly.
Yeah, it becomes a welfare issue. So yeah, there will be a curfew. It's not going to be the same one as Scouts possibly, because we are dealing with a different age group, but there will be some quite definite stipulations around what's going to happen in that environment.
Any more questions from anybody?
Carol, did that answer your question?
I've got another one. Carol says,
okay, this is not Ignite, this is not Venture. I just want to make that quite crystal clear. This is not Venture, this is not Venture Ignite. This is a very different expectations and attitudes.
And they will not be sleeping until midday.
They will, well, unless it's their day off. This is not Ignite. This is not Venture. This is JST at a Jamboree, and the young people that are coming with a purpose, and the expectations around that are very different.
Yeah, this Jamboree is for Scouts. The Venture is there to help. It's just that the VAs are would have missed out on a Jamboree, so we've added an extra section in to help them. Okay,
yeah,
Carl's got her hand up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just going to say I'm very pleased to hear that.
Okay. I was at Venture. I was at Ignite. I ran an expedition there as well, and so I am aware of the difference in the events. I've run several ventures. I've been to a lot more. This is Jamboree and this is JST. There's going to be some expectations on both sides that we're going to address before Jamboree starts around the expectations for behaviour and self-management. Does that help clarify a few things? Bryce, the registration, yes, I believe that is correct, and it is open already, I believe, as of a couple of days ago. So you can register straight away.
Sorry, I'm on behalf of Bryce.
Oh, sorry, I was reading it off the chat. My apologies.
Yeah, no, sorry. I looked at it and went, that doesn't sound right. So we're at the site at the moment, and we're having a look for the registration form, and we couldn't see it there, so that's why I asked. It's got important dates, photos from last year.
Which site are you on? Sorry.
It's www.newzealandjamboree.com.
Okay, I'm not sure if it's been put on there. Bear with me a second.
Do you have access to the forum on Facebook?
Yeah, I can go to Facebook.
It's definitely on there because that's where I did my link from.
Okay.
But it is definitely open because I've managed to do mine, which was I was impressed with myself. I even uploaded my own photo.
Well done.
I thought this.
Thank you so much. We'll go there and have a look. Thank you.
No problem. We look forward to seeing you there. Okay, Erica. The short answer is yes. If VA want to be in the same patrol or unit from people at their home unit, they should email one of us before Jamboree. Definitely before Jamboree. We will have the unit set hopefully by November. So if they want to be with specific people, please do send it through. They will get an email they can send it to, and we will certainly be working on that very much prior to Jamboree so that they know who they're working with and can meet online, if not in person. So yeah, definitely beforehand. Okay, any other questions?
Moscow posted, I think he actually posted a link to the Facebook page.
He did, which was brilliant. I saw that. I thought, fantastic. Thank you. Okay, so I just want to reiterate, there will be a different attitude to venture. We are there to look after the young people and to make sure they have the best Jamboree that they can have, and to facilitate any problems or issues that they face prior to Jamboree or during Jamboree. We will do our absolute best to make sure that they're comfortable and safe. So hopefully that's something you can take back to the home units. Okay, so I'd just like to say a huge thank you in the background to John, who's been manipulating all the slides for us and doing a lot of the technical side. Elizabeth for helping me. As I say, she is on my team, so I'm very lucky. Liam, who's disappeared because he was at another meeting as well. I am so lucky with my team. Anne-Marie, thank you as always for everything you do for all of us. I really appreciate it. Now, the next Jamboree Masterclass is going to be on Tuesday, the 18th of April, and it's 7 to 8 p.m. and it's going to be an open town hall style question and answer with the Jamboree leadership team. And then we're going to have future masterclasses held monthly until late November. And if you've got any questions that come up after this, please do send them to inquiries@jamboree.scouts.nz, and we will do our absolute best to answer everything as fast as we can. But please do be aware that we're also volunteers. And so if we're not coming back to you in 24 hours, please just give us a couple of days grace to come back to you.
Trudy, there's just a couple more questions in the bottom down here.
Oh, a couple more come in.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yep. Venture actives arrive with the Scouts. So JST will arrive on the 28th and the venture active participants arrive on the 30th.
And the hours of work will be dependent on what they're working on. So as I indicated before, some of them will need to be helping marshal for evening events, but some of them will be doing 8 hours during the day on a base. So it just depends on what work they're doing at the time. But they will get free time during the day as well.
So I'm just going to answer Patrick's quickly. How do the work hours for JST work? It fully depends on what team they're working on. If they're working on the events team, they're probably not going to be working through the day, and they're probably going to be working in the evening, helping with the evening events. If they decide they want to work on a project team that's working with climbing, they'll be working during the hours that the program is happening. So it's not a hard and fast, they're working from this time to this time. It depends entirely on what team they're on, and within some of the teams they will have rosters as well. So it's not going to be 24 hours, but we can't answer it as a hard and fast rule because it's going to depend what they do. But yeah, the arrival date for JST is the 28th of December in the morning, preferably, please. We will be sending that out. But yeah,
and all of the youth that the JST will be getting a day off during Jamboree, just like leaders on Jamboree do.
Yeah. So sorry, I hadn't seen those questions come through. So we are open for a few more minutes. If anyone has got any other questions, I'll do my best to answer them now for you. I'm not in charge of the program for the Jamboree, so unfortunately I really don't know what's going to be happening with market days, etc. We just haven't been given that information yet from the directorate that's running that, so I'm really sorry. I can't answer. I just don't know. Thank you, Olaf. So, but please do encourage venturers to come along. We'd love to see them there. We really do enjoy working with them. And if there's anything else, please do let us know. Tahihi?
We've got Tahiba's got their hands up.
Yeah, so just one other question. So gear-wise for the Venture Active, we're obviously going to have to provide tents and things like that for them, and their stretchers and those sort of things. What about uniform? So obviously, the contingents, we tend to dress everyone the same and with a single scarf and things like that for our contingent. How's that going to work inside the Venture Active?
I would expect them to have their scout uniform, but we will be working on a scarf for the Venture Actives.
When you say normal scout uniform, you mean the silvers?
Yeah, the silver, whatever section you're in, so whether it's the Air Scout, the Sea Scout, or the silver uniform, I would expect.
Just they only have one of those, and we normally the Jamboree contingent, we have like a uniform. One day they're wearing the green shirt, one day they're wearing the orange shirt, so we know that changed their clothes.
That wouldn't be necessary in the Venture Active. They wouldn't need those because they will be with other Venture Actives. Right. So if they wanted to have the t-shirts as a souvenir, that's fine. But we're working on a t-shirt for them and a badge for them, so that they are identified as Venture Active. There's no reason they can't have it from their contingent. It's just they wouldn't need to wear it on the same days as the contingent are wearing them.
Thank you.
Erica, you're very much welcome. Thank you very much for coming. Is there anything that I can help for anyone else? Oscar?
Yeah, I just want to elaborate a bit more on the uniform thing, because technically if a youth is going as a Venture Active, then they're not part of my contingent.
That's correct, yes.
So the expectation is that they wouldn't be getting that contingent uniform to add to that confusion. But are you saying that there's going to be a t-shirt that the Venture Actives will be getting as part of their sign-up package?
We're looking at getting a t-shirt sorted for them. Whether there's a couple of options we're looking at the moment, which we're looking at the most sustainable option at the moment, and we need to do a little bit more exploring with the Venture Actives as they start to come on board as well about what they're most comfortable with. But there will be some way of identifying them as Venture Actives.
Cool, because yeah, I mean, it just seems a bit funny for them to just be wandering around in essentially mufti but with a scarf, because that's really what's going to end up happening otherwise.
They have two shirts,
the gear list is being worked on for the Venture Active, and we will be looking at what is the so the Venture Actives will not receive 2 event uniform t-shirts like the JST, because the JST are getting the staff t-shirts. If you're looking for team uniforms for your Venture Actives, absolutely, as a unit you can continue to do that, but there is also going to be a wider Venture Active t-shirt that we are looking at for them.
Cool. Because
does that make sense?
Yep, yes, as long as they know that they've got their you know, their inclusivity of being, you know, we're venture actives and we've got this, you know, bright orange t-shirt or whatever, and that's what we're wearing for the week.
And that is exactly what we're working towards.
Cool.
It's so that they have an identity as venture actives, not just like a scout from home, but they have an identity as a venture active
Yes.
section.
I mean, the reality is we probably won't need venture actives again after this one. Who knows? But yeah.
I'm not getting into that one. I'm not going down that route. Not going down that route.
I know. No, I think it's a great idea, the venture active, because, you know, with those guys missing out. Otherwise, so no, that's cool. That's all I need to know. Thank you.
Okay.
So I think Ellesmere adds something very similar. Ellesmere, have we actually answered your question just then? Yes.
Okay,
cool.
brilliant.
Do we have any more questions?
I'm desperately watching the chat to make sure I don't miss any again.
I know. We will try and get the link for the registrations up onto the website. I'll speak to John after. Okay, I think if everybody's finished, we'll call it a night.
Okay. Thank you all for your time this evening. Really, really appreciate you coming on board and asking these questions. It's great to clarify everything.